Hola mis amores, hello my loves. So I am back with another video, and today's is kind of important, I think, because I'm addressing a lot of the things that I've been asked recently. Some of the questions that people, I think there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people are just going based off Mounjaro as if it's a weight loss medication, and although it is in the works on fast track, it's already been approved its first studies, it's on its second studies, and it's in fast track to be approved by spring of 2023 to be a weight loss medication. It is in fact not yet a weight loss medication. It is a type 2 diabetes medication that is being prescribed off label by many doctors for weight loss. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's videos. I'm going to go over 5 myths surrounding Mounjaro right now, and I kind of want to just do some myth busting today. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. It is Crissy G, and if you are back, welcome back to my channel. So my first myth is going to be you won't feel hungry on this medication. So although it is very much, and this isn't just with Mounjaro, this is also for those of you taking Ozempic and Wegovy, because those are also GLP-1s, and one of the medications that Mounjaro, Ozempic, and Wegovy share is that they are semaglutides. And so they all have semaglutide as an active ingredient. They are GLP-1s. The only difference is that Mounjaro also has a GIP receptor in it. But other than that, that's why a lot of the GI problems are very similar between the medications. So in this video, we're talking about Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro, because they work similar as far as side effects and all that good stuff. And the fact that people feel that they will not feel hungry on this medication is very much a myth. I have some of you commenting here on YouTube and on my TikTok page saying, I feel hungry, there must be something wrong, I can still eat, I am experiencing more hunger. I didn't have any hunger the first week, but now I'm on my second week and I'm starting to feel hungry, or I'm on my third, or I'm on the 5 milligram and I did so well on the 2.5, and now the 5, I feel like it's not working. So you will feel hungry on this medication, I promise. At some point, you will feel hungry. It's sad but true. I think there's a misconception out there that this medication miraculously makes you feel absolute zero hunger, and that is just not true. There are days you will feel a ravishing hunger, and then there's days where you will not be hungry at all. There's days where you may feel like you have to force yourself to eat, and there's days where you feel like, why am I eating so much? I should have been full by now. So it's just hit or miss. This has been happening a lot to my cousin recently. She, at the beginning, had to force herself to eat. She was nauseated when she did overeat. A lot of you are concerned because you feel like you feel hungry, and you see that so many people feel sick to their stomach, nauseated, have to force themselves to eat, or even just to drink liquids, and you're complete opposite. It's okay. It is going to be different for everyone, and that's okay. I never felt that way. I never had to force myself to eat. I could always eat regardless of the dosage, regardless of the amount of weeks. I never had that struggle. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, because I kind of feel like I would have lost more weight if I would have been, more nauseated or feeling more sick. But then again, I'm also grateful that I didn't experience that high effectiveness of nausea and stuff like that. So again, that being said, you guys, it's completely okay to feel hungry on this medication, and it's normal, okay? Number 2 is going to be big weight loss and not having to diet. Some of us are losing 1 to 2 pounds a month. And so when you hear that people are losing 8 to 15, 16 pounds a week, you feel like you're doing something wrong. You feel like, what am I not doing right? Why am I not losing 10 pounds a week like everyone else, or 5 pounds a week? Why am I only losing 2 pounds a month? What is going on? So you really have to look at your situation. You really have to look at your situation and evaluate what you're doing. But remember the one thing that holds true, and that is that you must eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight. And that's why in the beginning, it's so easy for so many people to lose weight, because they feel so sick to their stomach that they cannot eat. They cannot consume. They force themselves to consume calories. Most people say they're consuming between 400 to 500 calories, and even that's a struggle for them. So yes, if you're only consuming 5 to 600, 800 calories a day, you will see weight loss very quickly. But remember that as the medicine wears off and as you get used to each dosage, you're going to be able to consume more calories, and maybe unknowingly you're eating too many calories. So if you feel that you're doing everything right and you're just not losing weight, I would highly recommend keeping a food journal and really documenting, because I already know when I do not eat healthy or when I overindulge in something. So I know not to expect a loss on the scale anymore. And I know I'm not losing because I'm not eating in a calorie deficit, or I didn't eat in a calorie deficit this week. Just like when I went on my cruise recently, I gained weight. I gained 2.8 pounds when I got back home, but I knew exactly why that was. And then the following week after my cruise, I ate in a calorie deficit most days, and I quickly dropped those 3 pounds again, or 2.8 pounds. So make sure that you evaluate your situation and make sure that if you feel you're keeping a food journal and you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're drinking enough water throughout the day, and you're still not losing weight, then it's definitely a conversation that you need to have with your doctor. Number 3 is going to be that it causes cancer. So although it does very specifically state on the box that it can cause certain types of cancers, please remember that these are hereditary cancers. These are cancers that have either run in the family or you may have had in the past, and so doctors will not prescribe it if these cancers do run in your family or if you've had this type of cancer in the past. So not necessarily does it cause new cancers, but it can result in cancer if it's a hereditary cancer. People tell me all the time, aren't you afraid of taking a medication that may cause cancer, that may cause other problems, kidney failure, pancreatitis? And yes and no. Yes, I am, because obviously I'm cautious. It's a new medication and I'm not too sure what all is going to happen years down the line. But staying obese is also going to run its own health risks for me. And so if I don't do something about my weight now, I'm going to be running into probably a lot of those problems anyways. I know people who have pancreatitis because of poor dieting, alcohol consumption. I know people who have kidney failure. And then you have to also remember that obesity causes a lot of cancers in itself. So if you look at ovarian cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, a lot of these will show that obesity is a risk of those cancers. So, in all honesty, I mean, it's kind of, you have to weigh your risks with your benefits. You have to look at the pros and cons. And for me, at this point in my life, I feel like if this is the tool that I need to help me get healthy, and there's a small risk of, getting one of these illnesses, then I'm willing to risk that right now, knowing that if I don't do anything about my health right now, I can run all these other risks also later in life. So that's how I look at that. I want to say number 4 is going to be that it helps with eating disorders. I know I hear a lot of people talk about how it's helped them not binge eat, because I'm one of those people. When I don't have a tool to help me lose weight, I will eat in such a calorie restrictive diet or a caloric deficit that on like day 2 or 3, I'm ready to eat whatever lands in front of me, and I'm ready to run home and devour whatever snacks are sitting on the counter while I'm cooking dinner. I'm eating whatever I'm cooking, snacking till my food is on the plate and I eat that. And so that is a toxic mindset that I've developed in the last 20 plus years of my adult life, right? And so although Mounjaro and Ozempic and Wegovy are helping many people fight their binge disorder and things of that nature, it's not going to take those disorders away. It's not going to change your mindset. That is things that we have to work on ourselves. And I have quickly realized that although I've been on this journey for, I want to say, about 25 weeks, 26 weeks in total since I started with Ozempic, and then I moved along to Mounjaro, and I've been on Mounjaro 15 weeks now, about 15 weeks. I am still struggling with that, because as the dosage tapers off and it wears off, I start eating a little bit more. And at this point, with all the knowledge that I've acquired and with all the help of Mounjaro or Ozempic and Wegovy, I'm still falling victim to those bad eating habits. And so, as one of you mentioned today, about somebody mentioned about potentially staying on this medication long term. And so my doctor has suggested that I need to learn eating habits because it may not be realistic for me to stay on this medication long term. And so I truly need to work on my mental health to make sure that I can acknowledge and I can recognize when I'm going through these behaviors so that I can stop myself and learn from that. And so that's really where I'm heading with this. And some people may need to stay on it long term. I definitely do feel that I want to stay on it long enough to where I learn these new habits, because it's going to be hard to break 20 plus years of bad habits. It doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't matter how many times you read about it and learn about it, and it doesn't matter how much you know about it. It's kind of like when you confront an alcoholic, right? It's an addiction, and you can turn blue in the face telling them that it's unhealthy and that it's hurting them, it's hurting their family, their loved ones. But until they're ready to make that change, no matter what you do, okay, it's not going to change until they want to change. And it's kind of like that for each and every one of us. People can educate us and tell us and motivate us, and we can want to change, but not until you're determined to make that change will it happen. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of us have been, a lot of us have had these bad habits for a very, very long time, or not bad habits, but unhealthy eating habits, for a very, very long time. And it's not something easy to break out of. So there's nothing wrong with you saying that you need to stay on this medication longer and having that conversation with your doctor. My doctor wants me to come off of it soon. He thinks that I will meet my goal by December, but at the rate that I'm going right now, I don't think that's going to be possible. So I'm still, playing my own mind games, but I'm trying to get better, I promise you guys. Number 5, and that is that it is a weight loss medication. So people are very passionate when it comes to talking about Mounjaro and it being a weight loss medication. Not to say that it won't be soon, okay, but I believe you guys may or may not have seen the article that the Today Show did, and a fellow YouTuber, Anna McKenna, was featured on this Today Show, and they were asking her about her weight loss on Ozempic, and they kind of gave it a negative spin, and that's what she was worried about, because I know her heart was in the right place, and I know she's very passionate about her weight loss journey and all that good stuff, and she's very much about her community also. But she was afraid that they were going to make it feel like it was a negative thing, which they kind of did. When I watched it, the doctor was very like, this is not a weight loss medication, and now there's a shortage, for diabetic patients who need this for diabetes. And she's like, although doctors are prescribing it off label, that is not. And honestly, Wegovy is the only FDA approved GLP-1 medication for weight loss, and there's a shortage on it, and that's why many doctors are moving away from Wegovy and prescribing Mounjaro, because again, the main active ingredient is the GLP-1, right? It's the receptor that works with your brain to tell it's the sensor, right, that tells you that you're full. And so it works on that. It also slows your digestion so that when you eat, you feel fuller longer, so you're not hungry all the time. And then it also slows down the food breaking down, and that's why we're not getting hungry as often, and that's why we're getting full faster, and that's why we're having all the burping and all the digestive issues, because it's slowing it down, right? I feel like, yes, they are on the fast track to get this medication approved for weight loss. It will obviously be rebranded under a different name, just as Ozempic was rebranded as Wegovy for weight loss, and it's also the dosage changed, because that's how they say, well, Wegovy is for weight loss, the dosages are different. Although it's the same medication, basically. It's the same pen, everything looks exactly the same, except the name has changed. And so I'm pretty sure Mounjaro is going to do the same thing. Mounjaro will remain a type 2 diabetes medication, and then they may come up with Mayflower as the weight loss name for it, and the dosages may change. So we will see when that comes out. Hopefully it is. It's on track to be approved by spring of 2023. I am hopeful, because this will be life-changing for so many people. So as long as we learn new habits. It's all about eating in a calorie deficit, learning new habits so that when you do get to your goal, you're able to sustain your weight. I have to make conscious changes. I have to break my old habits and create new habits. I have to learn how to portion control all the time and not just when I feel full so quickly. It's easy to portion control when you're not hungry, but when I wasn't on this medication, and that's exactly why I would binge eat, because when you're consistently feeling hungry, all you can think about is what your next meal is going to consist of. When you are not on a diet, not on a healthier way of living or eating or whatnot, and you come home and you've been fasting all day and you're starving, the moment you open the pantry, the first thing you see, whether it's powdered donuts or Cheez-Its or whatever snacks you may have in there, excuse me, I've got the burps today, you will eat whatever's in front of you, right? And so that's what this medication has helped me get away from. But I also need to recognize that those are the habits I need to change. That's what I've got to get better at. I've got to know that eventually I'm going to have to wean off of this medication unless my doctor sees that it's fit for me to take long term. But I just don't, I mean, he's already kind of coaching me to make sure you're paying attention. So what he told me this last visit, I needed to stop making food so important. He's like, what do you do when you celebrate an anniversary or birthday? And I'm like, usually go out to eat to a nicer restaurant than Olive Garden. And he's like, why are we celebrating with food? You need to learn to celebrate with other things. Go on a hike, take a trip. Don't focus on food being the celebration. He's like, what if you go to the movies? What do you usually do at the movies? I'm like, well, I go and of course I smell the popcorn and I want popcorn. Or, you know, whatever snacks and whatnot. And he's like, why? If you go to the movies, go to the movies. Go watch a movie. Why do you need to eat? And I'm like, I don't know, because that's what you do at the movies. And so he's like, yeah, but not anymore. And I get it. You're right. But it almost feels like you're taking the joy out of life. And he's like, but why do you associate eating food with being happy? I don't know. That is a part of my problem. That's why I'm here. And obviously, he's not a food psychologist, I'm sure. He specializes in diabetes, and that's what he's treating me for, my obesity and my pre-diabetes and stuff. But I know these things, you guys. I know I have a problem. I'm admitting to it. It's just changing lifelong habits that is hard for me, because it's just what I've done all my life. Since I was a kid, we went to the movies and you snuck in a box of Butterfingers or whatever, and you bought the popcorn and put extra butter on it, and that's what you did. And so it's hard to break those habits, you know, even though you consciously know that you can't do that or you'll gain your weight back. I mean, it is what it is. So I hope you guys took a little something away from this video. I tried to keep them short, but here we are 20 minutes later. If you made it all the way through the video, then it deserves a thumbs up, I think. If you guys enjoyed this content, and if you want to see more videos where we discuss topics like Mounjaro, Ozempic, and Wegovy, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. You guys have tremendously helped me grow my channel, and I am more than appreciative for that, trust me. I'm excited because I have some new things that are on the horizon. I am really excited, but I don't want to talk about it just yet, but I probably will sometime next week. It's some big things are happening, and I'm really excited. Let's just say I made my goal, and so for that, I get to do a little something. Let me know what you guys think about Mounjaro and all the stuff you've been hearing about. If you got to watch the Today Show, let me know in the comments what you thought about that Ozempic conversation that they had, Ozempic/Wegovy. So again, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I greatly appreciate your time and you sharing your thoughts with me. Till next time, you guys, talk soon.